The Vox Markets Podcast with Justin Waite. Nothing in this podcast is intended as investment advice, and the people in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.
Welcome to the podcast on Monday the 9th of November 2020. An historic day. Of course, Pfizer's come out and said their vaccine is 90% effective. And I think we'll all remember where we were when they announced that. At home. With the rest of the COVID population. Okay, on today's podcast, Wendy Lawrence, Chief Executive Officer of Totally PLC, talks about the highlights from their interim results, which saw them generate an uplift in revenue, profit and cash. Also on the podcast, Alan Green, CEO of Brand Communications, talk about Mirriad Advertising, Ixico, Conroy Gold and Natural Resources, and Keras Resources. And as always, at the end of the podcast, I have two lists for you. The top 5 most followed companies on Vox Markets in the last 24 hours, and the top 5 most liked RNSs too. By the way, you can see both these lists at voxmarkets.co.uk. In fact, top 10 versions of those lists. We can see lots of other content, and you can check out on this has changed a bit now, our COVID-19 index. Biggest rise today there, actually, is Totally PLC. Biggest fall, some real big fallers today amongst the testing stocks of COVID. Biggest one is Synergen, which have their own vaccine. That's down 46%. Vector's down 41%. Gene Drive down close to 40%. Tiziana down 36%. Novocyte down 35%. Omega Diagnostics down 28%. So all those COVID testing stocks falling quite heavily today. Check that out, voxmarkets.co.uk.
Vox Markets is an online community of investors that runs a free mobile and desktop platform that allows you to track news and updates about any UK-listed company, offering RNS push notifications, detailed charts, pricing data, and much more. Find out more at voxmarkets.co.uk/app.
And joining me on the podcast right now is Wendy Lawrence, Chief Executive Officer of Totally PLC, TLY is ticker there. Wendy, thanks for joining me.
Good morning, Justin.
Now, you've just announced your interim results for 6 months, ended the 30th of September 2020, and I can see right now the stock is up, and I'm looking through it, looks very good indeed. So before we get into this, Wendy, as always, if someone's listening, never heard of Totally, could you explain what Totally is about, please?
Yes, of course. Totally is a provider of healthcare services across the UK. We support the NHS, and we also support healthcare services in Scotland and Ireland and Wales. And through the pandemic have been there continuing to provide services.
Excellent stuff. Okay, so let's dig into this, of course, interim results. It's a weighty document, but let's just do the highlights if you could. So let's start off with some of the financial highlights if you could, Wendy.
Yes, of course. Well, we're really pleased with the results, as you would, I think, expect me to be saying. Turnover's actually up when you compare the same period as last year. Gross profit of 10.2 million. Our cash in the bank has increased. The last time we reported this was at the time of our AGM at the end of August. So we've got cash in the bank at 12.3 million. We have no debt. So it's not as though we're carrying an underlying debt. We've paid a couple of dividends this year, and also within the document you'll see that we're proposing to pay dividends through into February 2021. So overall for us, Justin, we're really pleased that our progress is continuing.
Yeah, absolutely. And group turnover up to 54.1 million. That's from 49.2, and look at the cash in bank, 12.3 million, and right now, and it was 8.9 million back in the 31st of March. So you are generating cash, paying a dividend. What's not to like? So let's go through some of the operational highlights, if you could, Wendy.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, just explaining what we do. We work in 3 different divisions in the company, and we established ourselves in that way to actually ensure that we could mitigate the risk, if one was doing well and the other one not so well. So during the pandemic, what we've seen is a huge demand for urgent care services. Mm-hmm. Totally is a provider of NHS 111 across England. We cover about a third of the country with 111 services. And as you can imagine, during the coronavirus pandemic, the government was asking everybody to access services via 111. So we've been really busy. So we've been heavily recruiting during that period. We've changed the way that we work as well, because obviously, like every other business, we've had to put our staff first and make sure that our staff welfare is there. So we've been changing the way our call centres work by socially distancing, the use of PPE. So, we've been having to spread our staff out more to ensure that they can work safely, but at the same time increase the capacity of our call centres across the country. So it's been really demanding, but I couldn't be prouder of how staff have actually responded to that. And the whole urgent care business has stood shoulder to shoulder with the NHS during that period, whether it be putting in extra clinical capacity in our urgent treatment centres to make sure that patients can safely be streamed through to A&E to try and keep hospitals COVID-free. And at the same time, our other divisions saw a slowdown in the work that they were doing during the first lockdown, because obviously elective care was impacted massively when hospitals became full. But as soon as we were able to, again, we restarted services, and our insourcing business, which is totally healthcare, and they focus on providing services predominantly over the weekend to reduce waiting lists in hospitals. They restarted their services back in June in Ireland. That's continued. They continue to this day, and so do planned care. So we're actually hopeful that in the second lockdown, the way that that's being managed, it will allow us to continue to work. But as you can imagine, it's increasing in some areas, staying the same in others, decreasing in others, and all in the light of managing during coronavirus.
Yeah, like I said, unprecedented times. We had wave 1, wave 2 is here, and I suppose, like I say, you're very busy again and managing that. And like I said, this time is probably a bit different because the elective care as well is happening. They're trying to manage that. But so going forward, then, I mean, will this, just tail off, or is it now? Do the people realise how much you're needed, and it'll carry on being busy? What's the score here?
Well, I certainly think so. I mean, what's become very apparent during the pandemic is we have been there delivering throughout the whole period. We have taken on extra initiatives for NHS England. We continue to work alongside NHS England strategically to plan for what the future may bring. And I mean, I think that's difficult for anybody, but what's very, very clear, healthcare services, I think the way that we're working now is the new business as normal. I think the way that we are working through the pandemic, certainly for the next 6 to 12 months, it's not going to suddenly disappear. So for us, this is our new normal. And as ever, we will continue to ensure that the way we work delivers excellent quality patient care, because that's what everybody wants you to do. And if you get that bit right, people just rely on you in the future. So I think what you've seen in the results, we are a key partner. We will continue to be a key partner, and busy times, but couldn't be more pleased. And as I say, the staff are just absolutely amazing in terms of how they've responded to this.
Yeah, absolutely marvellous stuff. Okay, Wendy, if someone's listening, likes the sound of where you are and the progress you're making here, but are not yet following the story, just give them 3 quick reasons, if you could, why they should hit that button on Vox Markets on your page there and add Totally PLC to their watch list, please.
Okay, well, I think Totally PLC is one of very few businesses right now that is being able to demonstrate its growth during the period. You can see that our cash is increasing and we have no debt. We will continue to be very, very busy, and obviously healthcare is at the forefront of managing during unprecedented times. And just read the results, you'll see that we are key to managing this thing going forward.
Marvellous stuff. Wendy, good to chat to you, and hopefully we'll catch up in the not too distant future. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Justin.
The Vox Markets Podcast with Justin Waite.
And joining me on the podcast right now is Alan Green, CEO of Brand Communication. Joel.
A very good morning, Just. How are you?
All right, yeah. Who knows? My stocks are up. Of all my stock, I own 6 stocks. That's all I got, basically. And let's have a look how many's up. So I'm always in a good mood if they're majorly up, and the majority are up, I should say. So 4 are up, 1 is flat, 1 is down a bit. So that's all right. I can live with that happening every day.
It's game plans doing well, isn't it? Since we last spoke, yeah, that's edging up nicely.
I did a video on a skip on their update.
Yeah.
They did an update in the week, and they were saying that even in their tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 before the lockdown, they were doing very well still. So the demand is there, when we open back up, when we get sort of good news, positive news on a vaccine and faster testing, I don't think it's a silver bullet here approach. It's just a mixture of all, and I think we'll get back to sort of normal. But yeah, they're not going to burn any cash for us in lockdown anyway, so they've got plenty of cash. It's all good. So yeah, doing well up today to sort of 10% up, and talking about them at 7.5 pence. And now 12 pence? So they're moving slowly, but they've got a plan, a roadmap of 50 sites they want to open, and that'll see them well over £1. And they're only at 15 sites right now, all plus the 15 sites. So anyway, cool. Anyway, what are you chatting about?
Okay, well. Obviously, momentous events over the weekend. Finally, Biden's made it, and I received an excellent video this morning. Do you remember the film Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin all those years ago? Yeah. Well, I received a video from somebody that where it's Donald Trump playing the part of Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
He's in lockdown in the White House, which I thought was great. Really good. But so crikey, Donald Trump is in the White House refusing to leave. What will they do? Send the army in to evict him?
I don't know. I think in the end, what's her name? Melanie. What's her name? Melania. Yeah, Melania. I think she'll say, Donald, come out the toilet. Come on, out the toilet, Donald. Time to go.
Come on, Donald. Time to go back to the nursery.
So we've packed our bags. So I think she'll just pack up and she'll leave. If he doesn't go with her, she's just going to leave anyway. Because let's be honest, now he's lost the presidency. What's his attraction?
Well, exactly. I think he'll probably sort of try and buy a little island somewhere and just fortify it so no one can come near him because I think there are a lot of people that have scores to settle with him. But anyway, it's just bizarre. Never.
It just shows you how mad he is, doesn't it? We knew he was mad, but now we know he's really mad. And if you look, I was reading some of the videos on his timeline. He'd been retweeting and. You can see their side of it a little bit, but they're talking about sort of, fake and fraudulent ballots from dead people. But even so, the most they've ever found is like there's one guy. I think this one guy said already we've found six people died, and the six. He's not going to win with six.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
It's like happened. So
the thing is, people are now realizing that Donald Trump is telling the truth, but everyone else is lying. That's the thing. Everyone in the world is lying, apart from Donald Trump. So that tells you.
Well, no, to be fair, it's not just him. It's a lot of his supporters. They are mad, absolutely mad. You see that guy that just burst on at TV. That guy was doing a press conference. He was talking about, I think, the ballot or something. Guy with a face mask on, talking normally, and then this guy, with no face mask on, a bearded sort of redneck, just come on shouting his head off, saying the Biden family's stealing. And he was shouting and shouting. And then he walked off after a while, and because he was just shouting his head off. And my instant reaction to that was, well, that's a Donald Trump voter. Mad. Absolutely mad. So...
Well, of course, now Biden's got to heal the rift. I mean, that's going to be his biggest job. But who knows? Maybe he can. But I think you're seeing the underbelly of U.S. politics there, and also what the vast majority of voters look like as well, which is it's quite scary. It's a scary place, the U.S. Central U.S.
Cool. Right.
Anyway, okay.
First stock, Al. First out of the cab rank.
We're talking about the USA. This is a technology company called Mirriad. MIRI is the EPIC code. They've had a pretty impressive year. The shares have traded as low as 6p on the year, currently sitting at 37p.
Nice.
Yes, great gains, and I do hold the stock, and I did manage to get in near to the low, so I'm just going to sit on this because I think it's going to just run and run.
I didn't know you bought had some stock. You didn't say that before, Al.
Yeah.
You've been pumping these for months. You didn't mention once you had any stock.
Well, I bought some stock. It was only a small punt. It was just a punt. When I saw them that low, I thought that's crazy, because obviously, we'd worked a bit with the company in the past.
Why are you doing punts, Al? You're an investor, surely. You don't punt.
No. I'm investing into the technology because the technology to me is a no-brainer. It's not a punt. It's an investment. But when I saw they were that low, I thought, well, that's crazy because the technology is that good.
And what level did you buy them at?
Bought them at 7p.
7p, what, in the dash for cash when March sell-off in that then?
You got it. Yeah, I just saw them, and I thought, I know
he's a shrewd little, yes, quite clever. You there? I hope you chucked your farm into it, did you? Your household, everything cashed in, and what do you?
No, I didn't chuck everything in. It was just a small punt. But
don't say punt. Stop saying punt.
Yeah.
Stop saying punt. That's bad terminology.
It was a small investment.
Yeah, that's it. Bad terminology. People should take investments serious and not just jump in and out. Sometimes, stocks are too liquid for people's own good. If they had put their money in and keep it in there for like 6 months, they'd spend a lot more time researching.
Exactly. Yeah, but the thing is, because I knew about the company, I then saw the drop in the share price. I thought that's crazy because the technology is a no-brainer.
Don't say no-brainer. Nothing's no-brainer. No-brainers and punts, both that phrase no-brainer and punt both banned. Okay.
Okay. The technology
even the best of ideas can go wrong. So you've got to say technology is very good and there's a good chance. Let's be accurate.
Donald Trump. It's big. It's very big. Yeah. Very big.
You just said a good chance. I thought it was a high probability of technology doing well and the share price going up from here. We're not punting. This is not a no-brainer. There's none of that nonsense. Anyone who says an investment is a no-brainer has no brain.
No. Well, it at that price, knowing the technology as I did, I decided it was very good value at that level. So
there we are. That's a lot better. Well done. Yeah,
there we go. So. We all watch box sets. We all get to the ads and we hit the skip ad button and wind through. So, of course, advertisers traditionally were getting good value, but with box sets now, of course, they aren't because people don't see the ads. So, Mirriad have developed seamless technology to integrate products into programming, into music videos, into documentaries,
into shopping centre.
Into shopping, the whole thing.
No, I was there was a play on words. Into the administration.
Into very good. Yeah. I missed that. I see. Because I see what you did there. Yeah, that's great. So Mirriad technology integrates into programming. So Justin, you could be watching one program. I could be watching the same program here, and we'd see two different products sitting on the kitchen top because of the insertion.
So, for example, I'd see, say, the latest app technology. And you'd see some bondage kit.
I'd see a gimp mask. You'd see a can of coke. Yeah, but that's it. But that's basically the principle behind it. It has the ability to serve products. Obviously, this is streaming technology, so if you're watching Netflix or whatever, then it's custom made for that. But Mirriad have progressed the technology. September last year, they also dual listed. They listed on the OGC market in the US, which opened them up to US investors, and that resulted basically in a near doubling of the share price at that point, because US investors tend to look at technology stocks differently, and they're looking at it with in the same way US investors value NASDAQ stocks and similar. This is the view they took of Mirriad technology. They have numerous contracts all over the world, massive contracts in China with Tencent, with Enterprise WeChat, China Mobile, Tastemade, France TV, Condé Nast, also trialing here with Channel 4. And in September, they announced interim revenues up 109%. So they've got 14.5 million cash in the bank. Interim revenues are up 10% to just under 900,000. And despite COVID, there was some interruption with COVID. So they are rapidly moving to the point where they're going to be cash positive. They won a number of awards, nominated the best native ad platform, contracts with music labels, a breakthrough commercial agreement with one of the US's one of the largest and best known content providers in the US, and they've already started work on providing the technology to several popular entertainment series in the US. And today they announced an alliance with Red Light Management and Be Unique Records in the UK. It's a music alliance to basically insert technology both into new videos, but also they can populate back catalogues with their technology too. So every time someone watches a streaming video, they can see ads within the content. They've
based on the. I assume it's based on the cookies, isn't it? It's more more targeted advertising.
Target advertising, exactly that. So cookies obviously provide the information that about the viewing habits of the user, so they can profile the user based on that. In regard to music, they've already worked on this concept with a band called Codaline, who are an Irish band. Some of their videos, so this is being rolled out now. So again, I just think that they're first to market with this. They're already in with the big players in the US market, and developing relationships there with the US listing. And I just think this is going to roll and roll. It's I'm quite happy to sit on my investment for several years, because I think this is going to play out and develop, and very likely one day the technology could be snapped up by one of the one of the global media companies.
Yes, well, who knows? That's a speculation, of course.
Speculation on my part, of course.
Of course, and you hold stock, so it's within Alan's interest to ramp the stock.
But I'm investing. But I think if you look at, do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Look at the company. Look at the technology. Go to the website. There's a very good show reels there which demonstrate how the technology works, and make up your own mind. But I do think this is a great. It's great technology, and it's going to be playing an increasingly large part in serving advertising for advertisers into the new technology platforms that we're using to view programming today.
Cool. All right. Anything? What's next, Al?
Okay, company called Ixico next. So Ixico we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, and again they've had a really exciting year. I mean, the share price has basically it's getting off having doubled since the middle of August. Ixico supply artificial intelligence, AI, data analytics for neuroscience. They have a global network of well over 2,000 imaging sites, and they provide imaging biomarkers and digital biomarkers for research into various diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, MS, Huntington's, PSP, and so on. The company is run by Giulio Cerrone, and the company has
Cerrone.
Yeah, Giulio Cerrone, not the chap from Tiziana. Don't get mixed with them. This is Giulio Cerrone. So in a trading update, a couple of weeks back, the company announced that full-year revenues were up 26% to $9.5 million. 44 million market cap at that point. Year-end order book up 36%. Good forward visibility, and the company had just under 8 million cash in the bank, and it was debt-free. So this is always a very good sign to me. A company is debt-free; it's not borrowed at all. And this has all been achieved despite considerable COVID disruption to the business throughout the year. And Giulio Cerrone at that point said that they were continuing to invest in technology going forward, even though tests will continue to be disrupted during 2021. A number of contract extensions since then, 2 million contract extension to Huntington's disease, and they were awarded an Alzheimer's trial by the Global Alzheimer's Platform to provide digital and blood biomarkers. And most recently, they announced on October 22nd new contracts for the Huntington's disease with an existing big pharma customer. Was not huge financially, but as it's for early stage trials, it would likely to progress given Ixico's track record in this area. So if it progresses, of course, it leads to more lucrative contracts further down the road. And today, of course, they've announced an additional Alzheimer's phase 1 trial with a new biotech customer. They also expanded an existing contract with an existing biotech customer, and they've announced a new phase 3 trial for Alzheimer's with an existing big pharma company. And this is all in the run-up to the full year results, which are out on December the 2nd. That's about 4 weeks away. So look at the share price progress so far this year. I think this company is at a very exciting juncture. Market cap of 50 million, but the way it's developing, I think 2021 could be a big year for the group as it progresses with these contracts.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Looking good. Yeah. What's next, Al?
Okay. I have a couple of resource companies to discuss. Firstly, I want to talk about Conroy Gold. CGNR is the EPIC code. Now, Conroy Gold, again, you take a look at the share price performance. We've seen steady progress up to July, and then things have really come to life for the group. So we've progressed from 11p in July up to 37p, 38p. In fact, as I look at it this morning. So that's a market cap of just over 11 million, with good reason. So Conroy Gold, as we were saying earlier, just has been around for years and years. And obviously, Professor Richard Conroy, who founded the group, he's a veteran in every sense of the world. Founded Conroy Gold in 1995. He's a professor of physiology, and has run more companies than I've had hot dinners. But he's very well regarded.
I don't think so. Surely not.
Well, no, possibly not. No, I have had a lot of hot dinners, to be fair. Yeah, I'll withdraw that statement. But he has run a lot of companies, regardless.
Based on that statement, Al, I'm now questioning everything else you've ever said in this podcast.
Okay, I try to use it as a figure of speech, but just to say...
I was joking. I didn't realise. I think you're being serious. That's how you measure directors' experience, by Alan Green's hot dinners versus companies they've run.
There we go.
You should call them up and speak to them and ask those questions. How many companies have you run? Because I eat, on average, about 6 or 7 hot dinners a week. Have you run? Just judge it by that, see how they go.
That would involve a lot of companies. Anyway, the company has a number of assets in Northern Ireland, and the Clontibret prospect is looking extremely good in terms of its potential. A survey done toward the end of last year worked out that the net present value of the project sat at something like $72 million. And of course, this was before the announcement in July that when the company announced a joint venture to develop Clontibret gold mine and to continue the exploration with Conroy Gold. And this is basically an earn-in deal where Anglo-Asian have committed €2 million to acquire an initial 17.5% of Clontibret. They've got an option to increase it to 25% by upping their investment to €4 million, and then a further option to acquire 55% by funding Clontibret all the way through to mine construction. And indeed, the data and the sampling work that has been undertaken here, and this is across Clontibret, Clay Lake, Glenish, and Slieve Gar, which are other mines within the same region in Northern Ireland. There's a combined JORC estimated resource of 320,000 ounces and a total of 517,000 ounces with an average of 2 grams per tonne, which isn't huge, but obviously Clontibret is the jewel in the crown there. Of course, Anglo-American are also cash flow positive, debt-free, something like 180 million market cap. There's been the work is continuing there. There's been very little news really since we last spoke about this, but I think the share price or the increase in valuation speaks for itself. The company has also raised something like 66,000 for its own coffers from warrants being exercised, which is always a good sign. If people are prepared to exercise warrants, then it's usually because they anticipate some positive news or movement in the share price. But that's, again, a speculative statement on my part, but I think people who understand the way warrants are exercised will most ways agree with me on that. So share price currently trading 38p, been as low as 0.04p on the year, so it's been a spectacular year, looking forward to the next news with great anticipation.
And me, Al, absolutely. Right, anything else?
Yes, finally, Keras Resources, KRS.
I say Keras. You say Keras, do you?
I say Keras. You say tomato. I say tomato.
I suspect you're saying it wrong, Al.
You could be right. Keras.
Yeah.
Keras Resources. KRS is the epic code.
Well, it's from down under, mate. It's Keras Resources. There's a Keras.
Keras. Now, unlike the other three stocks I've talked about, this has had a fairly uneventful year to date. But there are two. The company owns two assets which I think are worthy of closer examination. The firstly is the Togo manganese prospect, of which the company owns 85%. And Togo is, of course, in Western Africa, has a 29 a 20-year permit across 29,000 hectares, and the deposit of manganese in the area measures some 2.5 kilometres by 0.5 kilometre and is about 4 or 5 metres thick. There's a JORC estimate for manganese at the Niagara prospect of just under 14 million tonnes of manganese ore. The Togo government has a 10% free carry here, which is often the way when you're developing these prospects in Africa.
Yeah,
but there's Yep. There is already a fully installed capacity on the site. So what attracted me about this is that no further capital is required to start the mine, start the process. And of course, as with so many dormant prospects, this was revisited because of the increase in basic commodity prices. Manganese, of course, has numerous applications in the forging of alloys, steel making, copper alloys, nickel alloys. And it improves conductivity, improves the tensile strength of materials. There are already the company already has takeoff agreements in place. As I say, it already has the capacity to produce 6,500 tonnes per annum without any further investment. With takeoff agreements in place, the group projects 32 million in revenue per annum and EBITDA of just over 9 million euros. So the company's got a market cap of 6.5 million at the moment. Once there's any progress, I think from this particular prospect, we are going to see a consequential increase in the valuation.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Do you not agree?
Yeah. No,
okay.
I am agreeing. Yes.
Good. Okay. Well, we'll add it to that. So if you just take the manganese prospect by itself, that's
right.
That's very much poised to deliver some hopefully revenues in the nearer term. The company
who doesn't like a bit of manganese, Al? Yeah.
You can't beat a bit of manganese. A manganese bar, there's a nice after. No, anyway, it's going to be silly there. So the company also has a phosphate mine in the USA, in Utah, Diamond Creek phosphate mine. It has a 51% earning interest. Utah is, of course, a mining-friendly state, and there is there's some 340 hectares of phosphate in the ground there. The average tonnage, or the average from samples excavated from the site is around 14%, compared with a competitor average of 3%. So very high quality. The group have already undertaken a lot of surveys in terms of the potential for mine processing and project logistics. That's all been proven out to the point where they have cash flow generative. They have operating costs of some $229 per tonne, and if the market share grows and it's is asked to supply more phosphate, then that will reduce to $92 per tonne. So again, there's a lot of historical data supporting the presence of phosphate both above and underground there. Got an experienced board. Brian Moritz is the chairman. Of course, Af Platts and Metal Bulletin, he was chair of previously. And you have Russell Lamming, who's the CEO, John Duplessis, who's the US representative for the group, and Graham Stacey. They're all former Chromix Mining. An experienced team that have a lot of experience in the industry. Really, the stock has flatlined. We're currently sitting at 0.14p, so it's not done a great deal over the past little while. It is up slightly today, but the stock was trading at 0.53p back in November last year. So any progress on either of these two projects, I think we'll see a return to certainly the shares will move higher than they are now.
You finished?
Yes.
Oh, hey! Oh, that was a long one now, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah. I was going to mow the lawn for a second there. I got a chance to mow the lawn before he finishes here. Well, he's fit a cup of coffee or something. But fantastic. What company was that now?
That was Keras.
I forgot what you said, because you said it to start, which is like about 3 or 4 hours ago.
Was it that long ago? Good orders, yes.
Yeah,
it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, isn't it?
Yes.
My word. Yes.
My word. It's time to be done for bed now. Right, lovely. Well, the company will be happy with that, I think. If anything else.
I hope so, yeah.
Maybe you should do an Audible book on them.
Audio book, yes. Yeah. That's an idea. Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Anything else, Al?
No, that's it for
Thank God for that. Lovely. Al, we'll speak you next week. Well, in fact, we just crack on, shall we? We're almost there next week.
Just carry on. Couple of hours to go, we'll be there.
Yeah. Lovely. Thanks, Al. Speak you next week. Only kidding.
Cheers, Just. Speak next week.
Okay, it's time for the top 5 most followed companies on Vox Markets in the last 24 hours. They are at 5. Countrywide PLC, up 43% to 207.6. At 4, Remote Monitoring Systems, down 40% to 1.45. At 3, Amiga Diagnostics, down 27% to 54.50. At 2, Zinwald Lithium, up 11% to 6.9. And at 1, it's IQ AI, up 7% to 15.5. Okay, top 5 most liked RNSs are as follows. At 5, Cadence Minerals, Director Share Purchases. At 4, On Commune Holdings, Notice of AGM and Posting of Annual Report. At 3, Deep Verge, Offer Unconditional in all respects, such as Modern Water Group. At 2, Taylor Wimpey, Trading Statement, doing very well today, up 12%. Big company, up big. And at 1, Totally PLC, of course, Wendy was on the podcast, and it's been a very good 6 months for them. They expect it to continue as well. So, well on there for TLY. And what's up at the moment? It's up 5%. Thanks for listening. Muchos apreciados.
The Vox Markets Podcast with Justin Waite. Nothing in this podcast is intended as investment advice, and the people in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.